Hey everyone, Gage Ryan here to showcase my dinosaur stun deck, I guess I'll call it to you. So the original core of this deck comes from something I saw on Capital G's channel probably about 2 years ago now. And what it is it's a deck from the OCG that topped some tournament, I guess, and it was Jurassic Stun is what I think he called it. And it was just a deck that was a skill drain macrocosmos deck that was very reminiscent of the old DD Survivor stun decks, where now Giant Rex has taken the place of DD Survivor, where when it's banished, you special summon it, and I mean, you know, maybe get a nice bonus for the attack boost and whatnot. It's 2,000 attack, it's kind of tough to kill and keep dead, and then on top of that, it also happens to work with this whole fossil engine and double evolution pill and whatnot. You know, Giant Rex happens to go to the grave, that's fine. You banish it with double evolution pill, you get out Conductor Tyranno, and you can special your Rex again. And then on top of that, it works with all these floodgates that you see here, you know, skill drain, macrocosmos. You know, you guys see what's going on here, so we're gonna get right into it. You got triple border, excellent standalone card, can win games by itself, and it's not even really a focal point of the deck, so to speak. You got triple Giant Rex, call it the Jason Voorhees of the deck.
Do you know what your gift is? No matter what they do to you, you cannot die. You can never die.
You know, and even if it happens to go to the grave, like I said, there's ways to banish it, there's ways to get it out, and then you can keep recycling it. Eventually, you just kind of run your opponent out of resources. You got triple Conductor Tyranno. This card's excellent. Just a great standalone boss monster. You know, anytime you draw it, it's okay because you can also banish from your graveyard if you don't have macro in play. And if you have macro in play, I mean, you're probably winning anyway. You got double Doggeron, which is, you know, excellent. Breaks apart first turn fields, and it's also a dinosaur. You can also special it potentially off of Evolution Pill. So, I mean, there's different ways to use it in the deck. So you got triple Alpha Master of Beasts. So this was originally Beast King Barbaros in the OCG's version, but I think that this card is actually better. Barbaros is okay. I mean, obviously it's good whenever you have a skill drain, but that's literally it. You're never using its nuke effect, so to speak. So I have Alpha in here instead because I always like this card, but it's like Pancratops. You special summon it from your hand. It's 3,000 attack. It bounces cards. I actually think it's pretty good. You know, I mean, even this and skill drain or this and macro can be pretty tough to answer for some decks. And you keep bouncing it, you keep reusing it. So I look at it a little bit like Fairy Tail Luna in that regard. So I like this card. You can play Beast King Barbaros if you want over it, but I think this card's better. And then one Pancratops, because this card is one of the best cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! In my opinion. I love it. Any deck I can play it in, it's great. And I mean, on top of that, it's a dinosaur, so it actually works within structure. So that's it for monsters. Onto the spells. You got triple Evo Pill. We know what it does. Triple Pot of Extrav. Card's excellent. You got triple Dark World Dealings. This kind of throws a lot of people off, but what you do is you use it to fodder the graveyard for your Conductor Tyranno or your Evo Pill or whatever have you. Because Evo Pill says banish one dinosaur monster and one non-dino from your hand or graveyard. So it's different ways to use it in the deck and different ways to fodder your grave so you can set up for your big Evo play. And I mean, I like Evolution Pill, and I mean, being able to bring Conductor from the deck and being able to potentially fodder your Giant Rex to special summon itself again and things like that, in my opinion, makes Dark World Dealings worth playing. This is something that the OCG list played, and I see why. I see the synergy that it has. So you got triple Fossil Dig. So the OCG list only played 2 of this card, but I just like having Rex. I like being able to recur it. I like having access to it. You know, I look at it as like a big engine piece of the deck, and I think that being able to have access to it early on is kind of a key for victory a lot of times. Now, if you have Inspect Border and you can just sit on border with Floodgates and win that way, I mean, sure, go ahead and do that. But I mean, if you don't have access to the perfect Floodgate, this is a good way to keep a recurring engine until you can draw into your good pieces. And all the meanwhile, you can combo into good boss monsters like Conductor Tyranno and even Pancratops. You know, and like I said, Alpha Master of Beast helps control the field. The Kaiju helps control the field. And then, you know, if you happen to rip a border or something and can Floodgate them out of the game, they're really in a tough spot. So you got Harpy's Feather Duster, you know, excellent standalone card. I like it. That's it for spells. Onto the traps. Triple Skill Drain and triple Macrocosmos. Hell yeah, brother. I was so happy to see these cards both come back to 3, and I mean, you bet your motherfucking ass I was going to find a way to play both of them in the same deck. And I think this is a pretty good route to go with the deck, to be honest with you. I know a lot of people, they hate the 3 skill drain thing or the multiple floodgates thing because they say that it breeds inconsistency, and to a certain extent it absolutely does. But I think that this deck is consistent enough to work around that. I mean, if you draw, like, let's say, Conductor Tyranno and then, like, a bunch of floodgates and no monsters, yeah, that sucks. But you're still only a pot of Extrav or a Border or even an Alpha or a Pancratops away from that hand being pretty good. Like, even if it's something, like, you wouldn't normally want to see together, like Pancratops and Skill Drain, it's still a pretty good setup. It's a 26 beat stick that you can pop at whim, and then on top of that, you can later banish to get your Evolution Pill play started. And so being able to play under all these floodgates and still be able to keep an engine going is, I think, a strength that this deck has. So you got 3 of each Solemn. God Says No, you just want to have it to protect your floodgates a lot of times. I mean, you know, you have Solemn Judgment and Skill Drain. I mean, you pretty much win the game, oftentimes. So the extra, you see what it is, double Logia, double Dulka, and then it's super poly targets, the Starving Venom, Mud Dragon, Duplexer Chimera I think is good, and then Chimera Attack. But we're going to go over the side deck here. If you can see that it's just a bunch of miscellaneous cards. These are all options right now because this is early on in the testing phases, but these are some options that I think are good. I'm going to kind of go through the ones that I'm currently playing, but these are all options that I think are worthy of being tested right now, and I haven't gone through all of them yet. So first Nibiru, I think Nibiru is good. I mean, I'm going to say probably play it, but, you know, we'll see. Fossil Dino, I think, is another good option. I'm not sure if it's going to go in the deck yet, but, you know, this is all about options right now. Berry Setcher the Drought, you know, which does work under, or like Alpha Master Abyss and Pancratops both work under it, which is kind of funny. So I thought it was another option to bring up. You don't want to play Berry Setcher the Heavens because there's too many things that are late. So, I mean, you would take out your Conductor Tyranno play in the process by playing this card, but while it would hinder you, it would destroy your opponent. So Super Poly, I play it. I just love it. I play it in most of my decks. Great card. Dark Ruler No More, you got to make sure you stop first turn fields. That's important. Cosmic Cyclone, obvious. Regeki. So Regeki, like, I'm still not sure how I feel about it because, like, on one hand it's good, but on one hand, like, any kind of negation, like, kind of just renders this card moot. I don't know how I feel about it yet. Triple D Fissure, which I probably will be playing in the side deck mostly at all times. It's a triple macro, triple D Fissure. Even if you have to take the skill drain out, it's just an anti-graveyard deck at that point, and it's very hard for a lot of decks to play around that. If anybody remembers, like, when Water was the big deck, I mean, it was very fun to, like, main 3 macros, side 3 D Fissure, and it's like, oh, I'm playing against Mermail. Well, get ready. Evenly Matched, you know, I play it right now. Good card. You know, Wake of the Dragon. So I keep going back and forth on this card. I hate the random miscellaneous spell and trap destruction that people side against me. And so this is a card I always feel the urge to play because it really is just a great way to screw with people. I do play Extrav though, so like part of me wonders if like maybe Prosperity would be better, but I also like being able to draw 2 cards. That is a really nice upside, especially whenever you play cards like Dark World Dealings. So I'm not sure about Waking the Dragon, but I mean, I love the card and I play it all the time, so it could definitely be in the deck. Goes in Match, Rivalry, and There Can Be. They all pretty much work unopposed in the deck. I mean, there are times where you have to sequence your plays differently because you have a floodgate, but that's fine. You know, I mean, if you have a Goes in Match and a giant Rex out and you can't summon your Inspect Border, or you can't set it for that matter, I mean, that's fine, because if you have a Goes in Match and a giant Rex and it's living, like, you're probably not doing that bad either, you know? So then, Imperial Iron Wall, which seems like heresy, but I mean, the fact remains that Flunderies is a deck. I just beat it earlier today, just kind of messing around with the deck. It is definitely a factor if you don't have Skill Drain and they can just keep, like, tributing your spell and trap cards. That's fucking annoying. So that's definitely a route to go with the deck, is Imperial Iron Wall plus other cards like Cosmic Cyclone, which you should always play against them, basically. And then Bribe, which I did want to throw in here as an honorable mention. I do consider it because it's so good going first. It just sucks going second. So that's why I always think about it in the side deck. But it's another good option. You know, I kind of debate between that and Waking the Dragon all the time, but we'll see where it goes. So that's about it for the Dino Stun deck. I want all you guys' feedback on this, because this is a really fun deck. I saw it in the OCG a couple years ago, and I've been waiting for Skill Drain and Macro and all that to come back to 3 so I could finally play it in the TCG. So it's here. I want to take advantage of it. It's actually halfway decent, just in the really early testing phases of it. I'm going to keep working on it. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you soon.